Have you ever noticed how the wealthiest person in the room is almost never the one dressed like it? There's a man named Walter, worn cardigan, a 12-year-old car, a haircut that costs $8. If he stood next to you in line, you'd feel a little sorry for him. And there's Chloe, the bag, the car, the vacations on her feed, and you'd assume she'd made it. You'd be wrong about both. And the reason you'd be wrong is the same reason most people stay quietly stuck for decades. So here's what I want you to sit with today. Choosing to look broke, on purpose, might be the single most powerful financial flex you have. By the end, you'll understand exactly why the people who win with money almost always hide it, and the one number that decides whether you join them. This isn't financial advice. Think of it as a map. I'm Vivian, and on The Quiet Dollar, we talk about the wealth nobody sees, starting with yours. Let's name the trap first, because you were built to fall into it. From the day you could see a television, you were taught a quiet lie, that wealth is something you display. The car in the driveway, the watch, the label on the bag. We learned to read those signals as proof someone had made it. But here's the uncomfortable truth almost nobody says out loud. Every one of those signals costs money that could have been making you money. The display and the wealth are pulling from the same account. You cannot fund both at full volume. You have to choose. Think about what a display actually is. When Chloe buys the appearance of wealth, she isn't showing you her net worth. She's spending it. The signal you're admiring is the sound of her future being quietly emptied. Now flip it. When you choose to look ordinary, when nobody can tell what you earn, something powerful happens. The money you'd have spent proving yourself stays yours. It keeps working, and you step out of a game you were never going to win. But here's what almost nobody tells you. Looking broke isn't about being cheap. It's about being free. Let me show you the 3 freedoms it buys you. The first thing looking broke buys you is freedom from the most expensive game ever invented, comparison. Here's how the game works. You see someone with a nicer car, and you feel a small drop in your stomach, like you're behind, so you level up. New car, new phone, new furniture. But the person you were comparing yourself to, they were doing the exact same thing, comparing up to someone else. The whole ladder is people spending money they don't have to impress people who are doing the same. Chloe's not foolish. She's just playing the game honestly. That $2,400 bag felt like a reward. But run the real math. $2,400 invested at 7% becomes about $18,000 over 30 years. So the bag didn't cost $2,400, it cost $18,000. Every status purchase has that second price tag, the one nobody shows you at checkout. I call this the performance penalty, the ongoing tax you pay to look a certain way for people whose opinion won't fund a single day of your retirement. Now here's the freedom. When you decide on purpose that you don't play, that no one gets to know what you earn, the drop in your stomach goes away. You stop buying to answer a question nobody actually asked. You're not comparing your reality to their performance anymore. And that reclaimed money compounds. Just $300 a month you'd have spent keeping up, invested instead at 7%, becomes about $243,000 in 25 years. That's the price of one quiet decision to stop performing. But the comparison game isn't the most expensive freedom looking broke buys you. The next one is. The second freedom is the one that actually builds wealth. You get to keep your capital working instead of bleeding it into appearances. Here's the mechanism most people never see. Money can do exactly one of 2 things for you. It can signal, buy the look, or it can compound, buy you more money later. The same dollar can't do both, and looking broke is simply the decision to send more of your dollars to the second job. Look at Walter. That 12-year-old car isn't poverty, it's strategy. The average new car payment now runs around $750 a month. Walter simply refused to carry that payment year after year. So do the math on what he did with it instead. $750 a month, invested at 7% for 30 years, becomes roughly $900,000. Read that again. The difference between Walter and the man with the shiny new lease isn't taste. It's more than $900,000. One looking broke choice, repeated quietly for decades. This is the shift. Stop seeing your money as something to display and start seeing it as employees you send to work. Every dollar you spend looking rich, you just fired. Every dollar you keep and invest, you promoted. And it hires more just like it. Chloe's dollars are all out front, on display, doing nothing but fading. Walter's are invisible, in the back, multiplying. Same country, same prices. The only difference is which job they told their money to do. And notice, nobody can see Walter's wealth. That's not a bug. That's the whole design. The wealth is real precisely because he chose not to spend it looking wealthy. There's a rule underneath all of this, and I'll give it to you fully at the end. For now, hold this. Looking rich and being rich are pulling from the same account, and you get to decide which one you fund. There's still one more freedom, and it's the one that quietly changes who you are. If this way of thinking is landing for you, if the idea of quietly winning instead of loudly performing feels like relief, take 1 second and subscribe. This calm, long view lens is what we bring to every single video. Okay, back to it, because this last freedom is the one that lasts a lifetime. The third freedom is the deepest one, and it's about identity. When you spend to look rich, you're wearing a costume, and costumes need maintenance. The new car has to stay new. The lifestyle has to keep pace with the image, so the spending never ends, because the identity depends on it. You're not buying things. You're paying rent on a version of yourself. Choosing to look broke flips that completely. I call it the stealth wealth identity. When your self-worth stops depending on what strangers assume about you, you stop needing to buy their assumptions. And the day you stop buying them, an enormous amount of money and mental energy simply comes home. This is what people miss about Walter. He's not depriving himself. He genuinely doesn't need the car to tell him who he is. He already knows. That's not poverty of the wallet, it's security of the self. And it's the calmest, richest way a person can live. Here's the practical version for you. Somewhere in your budget right now is spending that exists only to be seen. The upgrade nobody would notice missing. The version bought for the label, not the function. For a lot of people, it adds up to a few $100s a month. Say you find just $500 a month of it. $500 a month, redirected from signaling into investing at 7%, becomes about $610,000 in 30 years. That is a paid-off retirement, funded entirely by no longer needing to be seen a certain way. And the beautiful part, this one compounds in 2 directions. The money grows, and so does the person. Every time you choose the quiet option, you're rehearsing an identity that doesn't need applause. And that identity is the one that stays wealthy, because it never feels the pull to spend the wealth away. You're not being cheap. You're building a self that money can't rattle. That's the flex nobody sees, and the only one that lasts. So let me put the whole thing in front of you, because this next comparison quietly decides everything. Chloe spends 30 years funding the appearance. Each year, the bag, the car, the image. And every year, the appearance fades and has to be rebought. At the end, she has photos, a worn-out costume, and very little behind it. She looked rich the whole way and arrived with nothing. Walter spends the same 30 years looking ordinary. The car money, over $900,000. The signaling money, about $610,000. Add them, and this quiet man in the worn cardigan is sitting on over $1.5 million. Same income, same economy. The entire difference was one repeated decision, whether their money went out front to be seen or stayed in the back to grow. That's why looking broke is the ultimate flex. Not because you have less, because you quietly have more. And you're the only one who needs to know. So here's the whole idea. Quietly, Looking broke buys you 3 freedoms: freedom from the comparison game, freedom to keep your capital working, and freedom to become a self that money can't shake. And here's the reframe at the root of it. The gap was never about how much you earn. It was that no one ever taught you the difference between looking wealthy and being wealthy, and how much the first one silently costs the second. Which brings us to quiet wealth law number 2. Looking rich and being rich are usually opposites. They draw from the same account, and every dollar you spend on the appearance is a dollar that can't build the reality. Quietly, on purpose, choose being. If you want the full picture, all 7 laws that turn this from a mindset into a system, watch Master Personal Finance in 35 minutes next. It's the video that ties every one of these together. Here's the honest truth. Most people will keep performing. They'll keep paying rent on an image and calling it success, but you're not most people. You made it to the end. You know the game now. The choice, quietly, is yours. I'm Vivian. This was The Quiet Dollar. Because real wealth is quiet, now go build yours.